If you're one of those women who keeps telling themselves that they need a break, they need another vacation, and you're constantly saying, I'm stressed, I'm so stressed, I'm so stressed, this is a lot, this is too much. This is going to be really hard for you to hear. But sweetie, that's not stress. That's burnout. Your body is trying to tell you something deeper. Because stress is like just a temporary thing, right? Like, I don't know, there's a particular season in your job, a particular week in your job that it's very, very stressful. This happens every year. You're used to it. It's kind of like you schedule around it, right? That's your typical stress. But when it starts to feel like things are falling apart, it starts to feel like it's one thing after another. It starts to feel like you're having a tower moment, like when it rains, it pours. Bad things come in threes. Like, you're like, can this please be over yesterday? And you're like, I can't catch a break. Like, every time my head gets above water, something else happens and I drown again. And it's this constant need to keep it together, this constant need to try to really survive above water. And every day that passes by, it's getting harder and harder and harder and harder. That's not stress. That is burnout. And I want to give you some signs that this may be you, because we are brought up to think that's just life. At least I was, because it's what I saw my mom doing. She was always stressed. She was always tired. She was always in a bad mood. And now looking back, I'm like, I see why. I see why now that I'm a mom myself. I see why. But some of the signs that you can be in burnout right this very moment, or you've been going through it for some time and you just put it under the category of stress, is you're emotionally numb. You don't express joy. You don't express sadness. You don't express fear. You don't express much of anything. You're just pretty numb. It's almost like you have a poker face and nothing phases you. So you're literally detached. That's a big one, and it was a big one for me. No matter how much you rest or sleep, you're exhausted still. You could spend the entire weekend in bed, Netflixing, binging, doing nothing, absolutely nothing. Monday comes, it's time for work, and the first thing that comes out of your mouth is, I'm so exhausted. The people or things that once got you out of a tough situation no longer do anything for you. That's a big one. So you're not finding any sort of comfort. I know for me specifically, this happened with my dog Taz. I never yell at him. I never. And when I was in the thick of my burnout, even he put me in a bad mood. I had no patience with anyone, which is another one, zero patience. I had no patience for anyone, including him, to the point that I was on a FaceTime with my sister one time, and she was like, girl, you need to go outside and touch some grass. Like, you are stressed. She's like, you're even yelling at Taz? I was like, I know, something's up. This isn't just like your typical stress. Like, you're starting to notice that your body is giving you physical symptoms of a lot of tension, a lot of exhaustion, fatigue. You're having hormonal issues. And for some of us, pain. We're starting to get back pain, neck pain, headaches, We are also overthinking everything. We are overthinking everything, and we feel like we feel like we're not recognizing ourselves. Like, who is this person? This is someone who, I used to be somebody who was pretty confident in myself. I used to be somebody who was just very sure in my skin. And then when I started to experience burnout, which I thought was just stress, it's like I didn't recognize myself. It was hard for me to do the things that came easily to me. Like, cognitively, I was not there. It was hard for me to remember things. This is literally what happens when our body has been in survival mode for too long. And survival mode is not something that happens overnight. It's something that happens in the body over time. It's because there was some point in your life where you were not safe. There was some point in your life when somebody let you down. There was some point in your life where you realized that the only person that has your back is yourself, because the people that you thought were going to be there for you didn't show up. And so you learned early on, for a lot of us, very early on, that you are the only person you can depend on. So what does that tend to translate to? That tends to translate to you not asking for help. That tends to translate to you not accepting help. This tends to you translating to you fixing everything, you figuring out everything on your own, you acting like you don't have support when you really do, you not allowing people to show up for you, because there was a moment in your life when you gave someone or some people the opportunity to do that for you and they let you down. And so your body your body registered that in its nervous system, like, that's a threat. That's a threat. Don't you let anybody show up for you, because remember what happened last time. Because the nervous system doesn't recognize time. The nervous system doesn't understand that this happened when you were 10 and now you're 48. It just recognizes the feeling that it gives your body. And so it serves almost like a trigger. It serves like a trigger. And so all those emotions from back then start to come up, and your nervous system starts to flare off and sound off. And it's like, wait a second, remember what happened last time when you tried that? We're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. So it's going to try to protect you. And it's going to register in your brain, you have to handle that. Don't you dare ask anybody for help. You have to fix that. Don't you dare try to rest. We have too much to do, even though you've checked everything off on your to-do list. It finds something else for you to do. Remember what happened when you rested? Remember what happened when you let your guard down? This and that and this and that and that and this happened. So there's no way that you were going to rest, because that's when shit hits the fan. Whenever you let your guard down is when shit hits the fan. So you are not allowed to rest. You are not allowed to take it easy. You are not allowed to ask somebody else to carry the load for you. You got to keep it pushing. You got to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and bracing. And so your body gets used to this overload of fear. This overload of danger is near. This overload of trying to protect you, that when things start going right, finally, it is so uncomfortable for you, and it's so weird. I hear so many women say, oh my God, everything is going well. Like, when is shit gonna hit the fan? The ball's gonna drop, something's gonna happen. I know it. It's like you can't even be in the present moment and enjoy the joy in your life, because you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. You're waiting for something bad to happen, because your body is not used to good things happening. Your body is not used to that, and so it sees it as a threat. So that's why it can be very hard for a lot of us women to feel comfortable in the soft life. to feel comfortable slowing down, to feel comfortable asking for help, to feel comfortable in letting our guard down, to feel comfortable in resting, to feel comfortable in just being very slow. It's very hard for us, sometimes even impossible. That's why it can be hard for some of us to meditate. That's why it's hard for some of us to do yoga. Anything slow, anything feminine like, can be very, very hard because we've been operating in our masculine for so long of pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and doing and doing and doing and doing. Going, 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 like the Energizer Bunny. Going, 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 exhausted, 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 but you're pushing through and you're pushing through and you're pushing through because you have to. So when you're trying to flip things and you're trying to now reset and you're trying to now slow down and you're trying now to be softer and you're trying now to regulate your nervous system and you're trying now to really just slow things down and try to kind of just zen out, it is so uncomfortable for you because that's not your default setting. So when we're trying to rewire our nervous system, it feels like you are running up a hill. And that makes a lot of sense because we're trying to do something that we've never done before. And we are trying to push through because that's what we know how to do best. Us, the ones, the strong ones, the ones who always figure shit out, the ones who fix everything, the ones who everybody can count on, the ones that everybody calls. That's one thing we know how to do is push through. But when you are trying to get out of burnout or you're trying to slow down, that is not the answer for you to push through. It is the complete opposite. Which again, if you've been operating in your masculine for so long, trying to even dip your toe into your feminine is going to feel so scary. It's going to feel so unknown. It's going to feel so uncomfortable because that's not how your nervous system has been trained for so long. You've been operating on your nervous system being on fire for so long, for decades even. Like my case, it was decades. I think I'm gonna catch a tan. Let me roll up these sleeves so I look somehow. Look, I'm already red. Ooh. So your body learned to stay alert. It learned to keep going no matter what. It learned to, I know this is like a, not only a New York City thing, a New York thing, this is like anybody who grew up in the hood. Like as soon as you walk into an establishment, you're checking for the exits. Just in case something pops off. You know where you need to run. Again, this is coming from somebody with the experience of always being on alert, always being on edge, always waiting for shit to happen. It's almost like you're bringing it into existence. It's like the opposite of manifesting something good, you're manifesting the worst to happen. And which is another thing, it's like we hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So we're always on edge and we can't relax because we're, even when things go as planned, we're like still preparing for shit to hit the fan. And when that happens, our body is just really just, it's going off, it's flaring, it's on fire. So you can't even enjoy the moment, the present moment of joy. It's so hard for that to happen. And when you're on burnout, it's something like you didn't just wake up and be in burnout. This is something that has been going on for years already. Because stress, like I said, stress is something temporary. It's something in the moment. It's a stressful situation in the moment and you get through it and then you're back to normal. It's a regular day. burnout and chronic stress, burnout and chronic stress is something that is prolonged and has been happening for some time. Day after day after day after day after day until that becomes your normal. So when things are not going bad, you don't know what to do with yourself. When there's nothing left to do, you don't know how to rest because you're so used to bracing for impact. You're so used to bracing for that accident to happen, for that crash to happen. It's almost like they say, like when you're in a car accident, your body tenses up because it's waiting for the impact. It's how it protects itself. But that's the worst thing that you can do in a car accident, is to tense up and tense your muscles up and tighten up. That's the worst thing that you can do. But it's our nervous system protecting us. It's how our body protects us when it senses danger. It's doing what it's supposed to do, even though it's not good for us in the moment, but it's doing what it's supposed to do. So burnout is you just literally living in survival mode for too long. You living in chaos for too long. You living in upheaval for too long. Where that has become your normal. That has become your default setting. Where everything is rushed. Everything feels chaotic. Everything feels loud. Everything feels like another project you have to complete, and it needs to get done now. It's like everything is just hitting the fan all at once, and it's what I like to refer to as a tower moment, like the tower card in tarot, where shit is just, everything is collapsing. Somebody's pulling the rug from under your feet. The foundation is crumbling, so now the building has fallen. And this has become our default setting to figure shit out, to get it done no matter what. I don't care that the building is falling apart. You need to get it done. I don't care that everything is falling apart. Figure it out. So this begins to be our default setting. So when we're not in this state of alert, and when we're not in this state of frazzleness, that's a word, life just feels very unfamiliar. It feels very unfamiliar. So because one of the things that happens when you try to slow down is slowing down starts to trigger your anxiety. Because again, your nervous system doesn't, it's like, what is this? What do you, like, we're taking it down a notch. We're slowing down the speed here. We're used to going 100. Why are we now going 70? Something's wrong. What is going on? This doesn't feel right. Hey, this doesn't feel right. It's because, again, your body is not used to that pace of life. So how do we start to shift the nervous system from being on fire, from being overflamed, from being overextended, from being overstimulated, to now slowing down, shifting gears, slowing down, being in a more calm state? How do we do that, right? Because like I said, when you start to slow down, it's going to trigger a lot of anxiety, because it's going to come off to your body like something's wrong. So you have to do it. You have to ease into it. And there's a formula that I use exactly for this, and I do it in my Return to Self program, which actually, if you're interested in this calls to you, it feels aligned to you, if everything that I'm saying is resonating with you, click the link in my bio, sign up for the wait list so that you're the first to know when the spots open up for the next cohort. So how do we do this safely and in a way that doesn't feel overwhelming? Because also, again, and also when we're in burnout, we're like, I cannot do another thing. I cannot add something else to my to-do list. Don't give me something else to do. I can't no more. Don't do it. Don't do it. This is not that. This is not that. So what is actually going to work? What's going to work is that you have to start going through a deep emotional release of your body. When we are the overachievers, when we are the strong ones, when we are the superwomen, when we are the problem solvers, when we are the yesers, when we are the people pleasers, that just didn't come out of anywhere. That's something that happened because, again, there was a moment in your life where you figured out early on that you had to take care of yourself. You figured out early on that people weren't going to protect you. People weren't going to look out for you. You can't trust certain people. You figured that out very early in life. You figured that out very early in life. So what happens is when we start to operate out of that, there's a lot of emotions that get tied to that kind of way of living. You start to feel resentful. You start to feel angry. You feel sadness because you're like, fuck, I give and give and give. When is somebody going to give me? Angry because the people that should have been there for you weren't. Angry because people don't ask you how you feel. Angry because people don't check on you the way you check on everybody else. And so on and so forth. And so those emotions are trapped in your body. And it's causing the chronic fatigue. It's causing the exhaustion. It's causing the tension in your body. It's causing the headaches. It's causing the cognitive decline of you not being able to think, your memory's failing, and so many other things that tend to happen when you're in burnout. The fact that you can't rest because you have so much going on in your head, so many thoughts flaring in your mind. We have to work to get those emotions out in a safe and slow manner. And the way that I love to do that is through unfiltered journaling, which is so powerful. Actually just worked with somebody in a journaling session because she was telling me she was going through a lot. She's been going through a lot, and a lot of burnout, a lot of just grief and overwhelm. And she was starting to feel some physical symptoms in her body. She was starting to feel like this tightness in her chest, like almost like she had a weight on her chest, and it was making it hard for her to breathe. And I was like, girl, you're not having a heart attack? She said, no, it's not that. It's this like, she's like, I know that it's something in my body. And I had mentioned to her unfiltered journaling before, and she's like, oh, I kind of tried that already. I don't know. And I was like, well, can we do it together? Let's just try it again if you're open to it, because I don't want to force you into doing something you're not ready for. And she's like, all right, fine. So I gave her the method, and I said, I want you to do this tonight when you get home. And she texted me at night, and she was like, oh my God, Julie, like all these events in my childhood were coming up that I didn't even remember about. All this anger towards people from my childhood that I didn't even know I had. And all of a sudden, when I stopped journaling, I felt this release from my chest that I can't even explain, but I don't feel that heaviness on my chest anymore, and I can breathe now. That was just after one session. So yes, emotions live in the body. And the reason why this happens is because the body is made up of so much water. It's made up more of water than anything else. So it's made up of like 90% water. And water holds memory. which is why your body remembers everything from the day you were born that you may not even remember here in your brain. So when they say that the body keeps the score, the body truly keeps the score. The body remembers every single thing. It's like a time capsule. It remembers every event, every emotion, everything that you've ever been through that you may not even remember. And that's why it's so important to constantly keep recalibrating our bodies and constantly be releasing those emotions that are really make our body turn on us with burnout and overwhelm and exhaustion, and sometimes chronic pain, chronic illness, inflammatory diseases, autoimmune diseases. Because if those emotions don't have anywhere to go, what's going to happen is they're going to find areas in our bodies to attach themselves to. And usually it's those parts in our body that is tied to whatever sort of emotion you're going through. Grief is tied to the chest. The fact that you can't breathe is tied to your chest. The liver, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is anger. Your throat, if you're having a lot of throat issues, it's hard for you to swallow, you're constantly coughing. Thyroid issues, that's you not being able to express yourself, you not being able to say no, you not speaking your truth. The headaches, the migraines, that's you overthinking too much, you playing everything over and over in your head, almost like a broken record player. And so on. I'm not going to go through all the body parts, but so when we don't release these emotions that stay buried inside of our body, they will find a home in the body, and it will start to manifest into other things. So that's one component of it, right? The second component of it is you connecting to your body physically, like connecting back to your body in a very slow way. And the way that I like to do this is through yin yoga, because yin yoga is a very slow style of yoga. It's a very feminine, slow yoga style. It's not vinyasa, it's not hatha, it's not hot yoga, it's not kundalini yoga, and no shade to any of those yogas, because I love me some kundalini yoga. But yin yoga is very, very slow, and you are focusing on certain body parts for a long period of time. You're holding the poses for at least 2 minutes, which is then allowing for the fascia in your body to recalibrate. And fascia is made up of water. It's what wraps around your muscles. And like I mentioned before, water holds memory. So when you're stretching the fascia, what's happening is you're recalibrating your body. You are shifting things inside of your body as you are holding these poses for so long, and you're stretching your body. So you're stretching parts of your body that you have not moved in forever. And so your body starts to recalibrate. The cells in your body start to recalibrate. The energy in your body starts to recalibrate. The chi, the prana, it starts to recalibrate. And so not only have you just released all those emotions, it's almost like Tetris, right? When you finally solve the line and it disappears. So now everything has to recalibrate again. That's what the yin yoga does. So now that your body can feel brand new again, right? And what that does, it creates safety in the body. It allows your body to know that you are safe when you slow down. It allows your body to know that you are safe when you feel your emotions. And so you're retraining your body to slow down. So that now when you are trying to embrace the soft life and you're trying to really be in your feminine era, it does not feel strange to your body. It does not feel foreign to the body. It doesn't feel like a threat to the body. And that's when all the metamorphosis starts to happen of like, wow, this is what has been waiting for me on the other side all this time. Like, why didn't I get here sooner? And you get a taste of that masculine, of that rushing and pushing through, and you're like, I don't want to go back there. Hell nah. I love it over here. I no longer have to show up for people. I can ask for help. I don't have to do everything myself. I don't have to figure everything out myself. I don't have to be the it person for everybody. I can let people figure shit out on their own. I can feel comfortable resting. I can feel comfortable sitting back here, grounding, connecting with the earth. I can sleep now. I can rest. I'm no longer in a bad mood. You know, those days are gone. I can walk slower. I can move slower. And it doesn't feel unsafe to do so. It doesn't feel threatening to my body to do so. And you become this person that it's like no fucks given. You don't care what people have to say. You no longer care what people have to say. You don't have the patience for the bullshit. If people are not there to give you as much as you give them, then it's a no. It's a bye. Nice to know you, but this isn't gonna work. You start to step into your power. You start to step into that era where if it's not gonna benefit you in any way, you don't want any parts of it. And it can become scary for a lot of people because there's a lot of people who get so comfortable in the uncomfortable. They get so comfortable in the uncomfortable that they rather be in a state that feels familiar to them than to try something new. As uncomfortable as that is, and as stressful as that may be, they rather stay in that because it's what they know. Because the healing, being in this healing journey, is not for the faint of heart. Like, you are going to sacrifice relationships, you're going to sacrifice careers, you're going to sacrifice jobs, you're going to sacrifice some people, their spouse, their partner. Toxic people or people in their lives who toxic people or people in their lives who just weren't there for their greatest good. Leeches. And you're going to start to see who the real ones are. And you're going to be like, okay. So that's what burnout is. Burnout is not just stress. It's your nervous system being on fire. It's your nervous system being in survival mode. It's your nervous system overloaded, overwhelmed. That's what that is. That's what that is. And it tends to hit us, the fixers, the problem solvers, the super women, the strong ones, the most. Because for so long, we've had to keep it together and hold it together, no matter who and what was falling apart. We weren't allowed to fall apart ever. We weren't allowed to lose our shit ever. We're the ones who always hold it down and always keep it together, even through the crises of the crises. But this is your moment to soften. This is your moment to let your guard down. This is your moment to step into ease. But that's not an easy transition to do when you've been in burnout for so long, when you've been holding it together for so long, when you've been the strong one for so long. It's not an easy transition to do. It's going to feel so uncomfortable to do. It's going to feel like something foreign. And it's because your body is saying, what the hell is this? I don't like this. Nope, this is not my normal. This is not my default setting. Nope, we don't slow down. We don't rest. We don't do that. You got to find something to do. I don't care that you checked everything off your to-do list. Find something else to do. Find something else to do. You can't just sit here and not do anything. The audacity. No. You got to find another project. Meanwhile, your body is screaming at you to rest. It can't hold anymore. It can't take another project. It's done. It's done. So yeah, this is what I'm going to leave you with. Again, if you're interested in signing up for the waitlist to the Return to Self program, link is in bio. So if this resonated, if this felt aligned to you, if you want to step deeper into this work and feel supported while doing it, link in bio to join the wait list. Enrollment is going to be opening up pretty soon. And if you're on the wait list, you'll be the first to know when enrollment opens up. And I will see you actually again tomorrow, because I'll be going live again tomorrow. And come with your questions, come prepare, DM me, all the things. So enjoy the sun, enjoy the weather.